they both have to go hand in hand, you know, because, I mean, yeah, the music obviously could quite possibly be strong enough on its own, but like as a band, we feel that you have to give something more, you know. It's a case of like, personally myself, there's nothing boring or more boring than going and watch a band that like play like real heavy stuff. They may be brilliant, but if they just stand there in jeans and t-shirts, it's the same as every other fucking band, all the others, you know. So the case of like the image and everything is what also sets us apart. Sets apart, like if you're really serious about doing a band, you know, like we were right from the very beginning. We worked on like image, music, and the whole collective of everything, you know. And so it's like one big like ball, which is Cradle of Filth, you know. So for us, the music and the image, and the music and the image, and like all the in betweens and everything else, it just goes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. See what I was saying? Like, you look in a magazine. We wanted like for people to look in magazines and kind of guess what sort of music we were, anyhow. You know, because there's nothing worse. I'm going to use like a typical band like Marilyn Manson, for argument's sake. When he first came out, okay, and I never even heard of him, I looked at the pictures and I'm thinking, fucking hell, that's cool as hell. You know, fucking it's got to be like really heavy and like really fast and da 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 da. When I heard the music, I was so disappointed. It was ridiculous. I'm like, he's dressed up like that and he's playing pop music. It just doesn't make sense. You know, he's gone for the whole shock factor of the whole like devil thing, the whole real like dark and like extreme everything. But then he's playing fucking radio music. It just doesn't work. To me personally, obviously it's worked for him, you know, but as a like another musician, it just doesn't go hand in hand. I don't know why. It might be just the way I think about things, or I don't know if everyone else does, but you know, it'd just be my perception on it, you know.
Red lips, wetted by the fevers of belief and greed. Down this inferno in a deeper purge in the bird's eyes. From the black past mutual gang rape.
I love it because the fact that because only for the pure fact that the band's getting free press in all the major tabloids. There's people talking, like I've even looked on like proper like tabloid websites, like full proper London press tabloid websites. They're going, who the fuck's Cradle of Filth? Like this, who's this? You know what I mean? And nobody's got a clue who we are. You know, because it's gone into a completely different market of like who nobody would even dream about listening to us. So that's completely raised shitloads of eyebrows.
Arcades where shimmering snowfall stayed with the Saturn down the rent.
I haven't heard nothing from that one. No, but it's just like there might be. I don't know. But yeah, it's certainly raised the awareness of the band in a whole completely different market, should I say? Sorry, completely different market. Who would never even dreamed about like looking through the CDs about stuff. Who looked at the cover and go, "Oh my god, don't look at that." You know, but now it's been like shoved in their face because it's made news. Which is like brilliant. Which is, I mean, the nastier the press and the worse the press is even better for us.
Right.
To be honest, because people just can't stop talking about it, and therefore it just raises the profile even more. To be honest, it was done years ago. It was done like on the first album, you know, and vaguely remember it was like more like a just drunken time at a party. Do you know what I mean? Nobody would ever have dreamed about it getting like that big. You know, we just like, oh, fucking, that'd be a brilliant idea. So Danny came up with, I know what it'd be. So we were just sitting down trying to come up with like the most offensive, obscene things you could put on the back of a shirt, just like on a drunken stoop. Oh, what about this? What about that? And Dan came, oh, but Jesus, come in, fuck me, that's brilliant, quick, come on.
Good job, well done.
Yeah, and we stuck it on there, and it just went. It was amazing.
I just want some for ravens trap flapping in night.
To be honest, we don't really get to see much city when we tour. But my favourite place to go, actually, to be honest, there's one place in the States I've managed, not this tour because we haven't played there, but in previous tours I've managed to get out and go around the voodoo shops, and that's, I forgot the fucking name of it now.
Down like New Orleans?
That's
down
it,
there?
New Orleans, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all around there, like the French Quarter and stuff.
Yep.
Every time we go there, I've been straight in the blues shops, straight in the jazz places, straight fucking in the voodoo shops. It's just fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible, I love it. The American toilets,
Yeah.
right? Public toilets. This is not the not private ones.
Right.
The public ones. I wish there was more privacy.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because it's like you've got this massive gap underneath the door, then a huge like gap, and then there's like big massive gaps in the sides, and people can watch you going. And it's like, what the fuck's that all about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least like in Europe, you close the door and nobody can even see or hear anything. It's completely shut down.
Totally.
Yeah, I found it a little bit weird when I first experienced it. I'm alright with it now. It doesn't bother me now. It took a bit of year getting used to it. It's like in Germany with the well, not so much all in Germany. Should I say it's a bit like some places in Germany, like France as well. When you go to like somewhere like right in the countryside, there's like like Germany, we've had some we've played venues before, and they've actually had like holes in the ground.
Yeah.
You know, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Holes in the ground with like porcelain holes with like porcelain foot plates. We went to a place one time years ago when we was played in France, and we was going through the countryside, middle of summer, through the countryside. The bus broke down, so we come across this old farmhouse. You know, everyone's busting to go to the toilet. You know, so we come across this old farmhouse, like knocked on the door. You know, said blah blah blah, and so they said, yeah, there's a toilet outside in that shed. I went, okay, fair enough. Fucking, that was disgusting. Opened the door, and it literally was just a hole into the sewer, and that was it. And it was just dirt everywhere. And to stop you from falling in, there was a rope on the back of the door.
Oh my god.
I know, trousers down, and you hold yourself on the rope at the back of the door and go to the toilet. And that, I can still picture that to this day. And this was literally about fucking 15 years ago.
Sting a feeble heart, a test will be the start of something glorious again. Tonight
The album before was just myself and the keyboard player at the time. But this album, I decided to get everybody involved this time, you know. But usually what happens is my studio is the hub of everything, you know. And so I'll basically write riffs, put some riffs down, drum beats, and then pretty much extend it. So I've got like a whole arrangement. And then I'll send it to the other guys and say, you know, do you like this? What do you think? And stuff. And then I'll send it to mine. He'll redo drums and send them all back to me. Everything's all, we've got like basically like a Cradle like server hub. You know, so all the riffs, everything just sit on there, and we just pick them off and like mess around and put them all back. You know, it's that type of thing. It's a lot easier. Then when it comes to having like the final orchestration on there, for argument's sake, I'll come up with like, or someone might come up with like a top line melody line on a violin, for argument's sake. Or anything really, piano, violin, whatever. Then I'll get sent off to like the keyboard player, you know, and having then what I'll do in my studio, I'll get like emailed back to me a whole like massive like orchestration of like there'll be ridiculous amounts of tracks. So I'd say like, this is my key line, you know, I want you to orchestrate around this for me, you know. So they'll come back and there'll be fucking loads of it. So I'll sit down there, I'll spend at least 2 or 3 days just going through each instrument and seeing how it all fits with the guitars and the drums and what atmosphere it gets. It's fucking bad English. Right? So see what atmosphere is like within that section, and you know. And then I'll take away stuff, and if it doesn't quite fit, I'll usually get rid of loads of guitars and just have the orchestra there, or just have just the violin on its own, or something like that, you know, or a sound effect. And that keeps going backwards and forwards like that, and then eventually once it's done, but I reckon, I mean, this album, we got about 3/4 of the way through the album, and I just got sent off to Danny, and he ended up coming up with like the lyrics once we've done the music to it. And he may come back to me and say, or come back to somebody and go, you know, I've got this idea, I need this extended because I've got lyric ideas for this, can you extend it in the demo and send it back to me, or can you shorten it, or can you do a different tail on this because I've got this vocal idea and stuff like that. And that's how it goes, you know. But at least everything goes through my studio, because there's nothing worse than like 5 people trying to all arrange the same song. It's just fucking an appetite for disaster.
Yeah.
You know, it is, because you end up going like, it happened on this album a couple of times actually. For some reason, a couple of people tried to like arrange on their own, you know, which is, I don't mind at all, but as long as everybody else is kept in the loop. Because if no one's kept in the loop, it happened this time. I sent the demo off, we got everything done, the whole lot done, the orchestration done, everything. Sent it to Dan, and he says, well, this one's different. I'm like, what do you mean it's different? You know? Yeah, and like, someone had already gone. I said, no, give that back, I'll rearrange it. So I did, and then sent it off. So everything has to go through. It's just like creating a decent workflow, you know? And that way, you can get stuff done really, really quickly, providing everybody in the band plays ball and actually is all striving for the same thing, you know. If that doesn't happen, then a couple of people go this way, a couple of people go that way, then you have to sort of like fucking try and rein it back in again and say, no, what you're doing, you're just causing headaches, you know. Usually 3 times a day off, you know, and it's kind of, well, actually, for argument's sake, we've got a day off tomorrow, so I'll be in the hotel room trying to get as much sleep as possible, catching up on all my artwork that I've got to do, you know, and see, I never stop working. That's the only problem, you know. I'm either working on band stuff, either writing and practicing riffs, or I'm doing artwork for like a bigger goal, you know, or doing artwork for other people or other people's merchandising and stuff. So I'm full on all the time, so my free time's basically working, you know. So I'm like kind of on my own as well, so I don't have anyone around to share stuff with. So the way I just like get focused, I just work all the time. It's just like tunnel vision from start to finish. Next thing I know, I've like 15 hours have gone by, you know, and then I'm great. I better go to bed.
Exciting new flames in my vein will claim for me. Reciting back the album.
No, I do shirts with Danny.
Okay.
You know, we'll like use a lot of the artwork that people have already done, but we'll do the layouts, or sometimes I mean with the Cradle shirts I do a lot of the band photos for shirts, you know, just like manipulating and stuff like that, you know, and he'll come up with the slogans on the back, then I'll do all the artwork for the slogans on the back, or it's just writing, or it might do, then I'll come up with the colour designs and stuff like that, print it all up properly and send it to the merchant play people, you know.
I am the Lord.
I'm still an old fucking 80s thrash fan. Yeah. You know, I'm like, plus also, it's just like, everybody knows I'm totally into like Judas Priest, Maiden, Motorhead, all that stuff. I don't really like anything new as such, which is like out and about, because nothing's really like, fucking grabbed me, you know. Saying that, there's a band called Ghost, you know, they're pretty cool, they've got some good stuff, but I don't know, I'm not really, it's nothing, ever since like hearing Defenders of the Faith, Judas Priest, you know, nothing's ever grabbed me like that, ever. You know, I'm just like, fucking hell, that album from start to finish is just amazing. Every single song says shivers up my spine. It's just one of those albums which has gone completely perfect.
In the underworld, we suffer from a grievous need. We prize white lips and wounds and lips cold over teeth and a tasted shade.
Sometimes, but there's a lot of Maiden influence.
Right,
Maiden
I can hear
influence
that, yeah.
From us, or from them, so I shall say. Yeah, I get a lot. There is a lot of influence there, I suppose. You know, but when I'm kind of writing though, I tend not to listen to any music. I just bumble away on my guitar, just playing riffs. Then all of a sudden, I'll go, fuck me, that sounded good, you know, and then record it, play around with it, mess around with it, tweak it a little bit more, make it sound a little bit more complicated than it has to be, just for the pure purpose of, once I get orchestration on top of it, I can take the complicated parts of that riff and convert them into orchestral pieces, you know. So the guitar is pretty basic, but the riff idea is spread across the whole orchestra of the whole band, basically. No. I remember sitting when the first album came out, where it was like thinking, we were supporting bands like Cannibal Corpse, you know, and even I remember sitting in the dressing room, the support band's dressing room, when Cannibal Corpse were like there, you know. I remember going up to one of them and asking for their pass and then telling me to fuck off. That's right. But it's like, don't know, it's just like, yeah, no, I remember sitting in the dressing room thinking, oh my god, it'd be amazing to fucking be that big, and da-da-da, and like, you know, and this, that, and the other. It'd be amazing to like play with Slayer and fucking Maiden, fucking, yeah. The next thing we know, like, it's almost like the time's gone so quick. We've played with Maiden, we played with Priest twice, you know, we've actually supported Motorhead and they've supported us, you know, and it's just like, fucking, it's a bit surreal, you know, very surreal, actually. I still can't get my head around it, to be honest, you know. Plus also, like, even like the summer festivals that like this year coming up when we get back to like the UK and like in Europe, we've got like, I think it's like 6 or 7 shows with Judas Priest again. So it's like fucking, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah.